Here's the million-dollar question. If the archives are full of historical documents, why not open them all? Why not let the world learn everything? Well, according to the Vatican, it's about protecting fragile documents and preventing the spread of misinformation. Many texts are handwritten in old languages. Taking them out of context or misinterpreting them could lead to massive confusion or even conspiracy spirals. There's also the Church's responsibility to maintain privacy. Some letters contain personal or political content involving people who still have descendants alive today. Releasing certain records could damage reputations or reopen old wounds. But not everyone buys that. Critics argue that selective access creates more suspicion. If the Church wants to be transparent, why not digitize and release everything? Some say secrecy keeps power in the hands of a few, while others believe it's a way to avoid uncomfortable truths. The Vatican has made small steps. In 2020, it opened documents from Pope Pius XII's time during World War II, after years of pressure. But most of the archive remains untouched, with no public timeline for full disclosure. So we're left wondering what truths are being protected, and what stories might never be told. All right, so we've talked about the wild theories, but what's really inside? Thankfully, over the past few decades, some parts of the archives have been slowly opened to scholars, and what they've found is just as fascinating, even without aliens or lost cities. One of the most famous discoveries is a letter from Mary, Queen of Scots. Written while she was imprisoned, she begged the Pope for help before her execution. That kind of raw historical emotion, captured in her own handwriting, is powerful. It's history in its purest form. Another major piece, the trial records of Galileo. The Vatican kept detailed notes on his case, including how the Church forced him to recant his belief that the Earth orbits the Sun. These documents show how science and religion have clashed and evolved over time. There are also letters between popes and world leaders. Napoleon, Hitler, U.S. presidents, all stored and preserved. They give us insight into how the Vatican influenced major political moments, often behind the scenes. So, no alien scrolls yet, but what's been revealed still shakes up how we see history. And remember, only a small part has been accessed. The rest, still locked away waiting. Maybe for the right person to ask the right question. When a place is this secretive, people start to imagine anything could be inside. Over the years, the Vatican Secret Archives have inspired countless wild theories. Some believable, some absolutely insane. One of the most famous, that the Church is hiding proof that Jesus had a family. Some conspiracy theorists claim there are lost gospels locked away that paint a completely different picture of his life, one that would shake Christianity to its core. Then there's the theory that the archives hold ancient texts about alien life. Yep, according to believers, the Vatican has known about extraterrestrial contact for centuries, but kept it hidden to avoid global panic. It sounds far-fetched, but hey, people still talk about it. Others suggest there's secret knowledge from ancient civilizations like Atlantis, or even scientific discoveries far ahead of their time. Things humanity wasn't ready to know. Think time travel, lost technologies, or maps of the Earth before the last ice age. Are any of these true? There's no proof, but the fact that no one can check easily makes them impossible to fully disprove, and that's what keeps the legends alive. Getting into the Vatican Secret Archives isn't just difficult. It's nearly impossible for the average person. You can't just knock on the door and ask for a tour. In fact, most people who work at the Vatican never set foot inside. So, who can enter? Only approved scholars, usually historians or religious researchers, are granted access. And even they need to go through a strict application process. You can't browse freely either. You must request a specific document, and if you're lucky, you'll be allowed to view it under supervision. No copying, no screenshots, no just browsing. It's like asking to see a single needle in a massive haystack and hoping they say yes. This level of secrecy fuels the conspiracy theories. Why such tight control over old papers? What could be so sensitive that it needs to be protected for centuries? Some say it's about preserving the integrity of the church's history. Others believe it's about hiding darker chapters, times when religion and politics collided, or when powerful people made questionable choices. The truth may lie somewhere in the middle, but one thing's for sure, the mystery isn't just about what's inside the archives. It's about why the world isn't allowed to see it. Deep beneath the streets of Vatican City lies one of the most secretive and misunderstood places in the world, the Vatican Secret Archives. Sounds like something from a Dan Brown novel, right? But it's real and way more mysterious than fiction. These archives stretch over 50 miles. Yeah, 50 miles of shelves, packed with ancient documents, letters, and manuscripts collected by the Catholic Church for over 800 years. Some of them are priceless historical records, like letters from Michelangelo, documents from the Knights Templar, and even files from World War II. But here's the twist. These archives aren't open to the public. Not even most Vatican staff can enter. Only a few selected scholars are allowed inside, and even they need special permission and a reason to see specific documents. No phones, no photos. Total silence. So, what's the church hiding? That's what sparks endless rumors. Some say there are books that rewrite human history. Others believe the church is protecting ancient knowledge too dangerous for the world. Whether it's truth, myth, or both, one thing's for sure, the mystery is very real. So here's the big question to end with. What if the Vatican decided, tomorrow, to open every door, unseal every document, and digitize it all for the world to see? It would be the ultimate data drop. Historians would rush in. Headlines would explode. Secrets hidden for centuries could rewrite parts of history, or confirm what many suspected all along. Imagine reading letters between ancient popes and powerful kings. Imagine uncovering decisions that shaped wars, beliefs, and entire nations. But here's the catch. Are we ready for that? Sometimes information changes everything. It challenges what we've been taught, what we believe, and what we trust. That's the weight these archives carry, not just pages, but power. In the end, maybe that's the real secret. Not what's hidden inside, but why it stays hidden at all. Until then, the Vatican Secret Archives remain what they've always been, a symbol of mystery, knowledge, and the unknown. And as long as those doors stay closed, the questions will only grow louder. You made it all the way here, brain spinning, questioning if time is even real, and you're still not subscribed? Look, this channel isn't just content. It's a mental roller coaster through black holes, brain glitches, and bizarre theories your school never dared to teach. If you're into stuff that blows your mind and makes you say, wait, what did I just watch? Then yeah, you belong here. Smash that subscribe button so we can decode the universe together. Or at least get really confused trying. And hit the bell too, because if time is fake, notifications better be real. Let's get lost in the weirdest questions of existence. One rabbit hole at a time.